Who is fighting with them? Why must they be bought every election? So a lot of things a lot of savings can be realized, and we will realize it, and we will run our elections in 2027 with the time required, and I don't think there will be any hitch. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Loka.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to pronounce myself CS. I'm sorry I was late because of another commitment. I'm happy to see you, and I like the John Mbadi I'm seeing. The John Mbadi I'm seeing is the John Mbadi who we agreed that we have to try and fix the mess we have got. So I begin to say that, first of all, thank you for the fact that it looks like you have understood the dysfunctionality of our system. So I'm going to ask you questions. They are actually all of them related. I'll start with what you raised about the reforms that you are conducting. One of the things that these committees of ours in the Senate have been looking at is, number one, let me talk personally, I think the PFM Act has been completely dismembered deliberately. If you go back and see what the county governments are doing, if you look at how they are spending the money and what they need to do. For example, CS, I can give you just a very simple example. That many of the county governments, once they have spent the money, and of course I'm very, very happy that you have introduced the e-procurement. I hope that in your reforms the e-procurement will be linked directly to the IFMI system, and it will be one way in, one way out, and I hope that this system that is supposed to be managing the procurement, the expenditure, and the implementation of the programs, I hope in your reforms you are then going to introduce a scenario where, using the systems that you are setting into place, you will now be dealing with the other issues, and that those are the HR issues. If you notice, 70 to 80% of the county governments, as we speak, the ratio between the expenditure funds and what they are spending on HR is incredible. My county of Kisii right now, we are at 68%. And yet when the former governor left, we were at 41. And then when you go deep and find out, Mr. CS, you could send your officers, just look at it. When you find out why is this increment of 25, you find out that actually there are no people employed. So where is the money going? I would like you to check your payrolls. Get a system, a national system that is going to be linked up, Honorable CS, about all the payrolls of the county governments, the national payroll, so that you can check who are the ghost workers and who are not. The second issue that I wanted to say, thank you, you answered it, is on the pending bills. But if you notice, CS, currently if you look at the audit reports that are being given by the county governments, 80% of the county governments have accumulated pending bills since they took over 3 years ago.
160 billion.
All right, now that is so scary to me. Why? Because they have deliberately decided to create these pending bills. How have they created them? Go and check even one county's audited reports. Like my county, 685 payments were voided. You understand? That's why I said that IFMI system has deliberately been hacked, whereby now you find that the county governments are, instead of them paying people according to the work they do, they then, of course, like you said it yourself. So I'm so happy that you've got your finger on it, and I hope you will be handling it. The next issue that I wanted to ask you was, many of us feel, CS, that when we borrow money, when you borrow as treasury, you don't, that's why you find many of us, or many people, even on social media, raising these issues about money recently, which is where it is going to and what it's going to do. What you've just explained to us completely makes sense. I would never question why you have done the securitization, but can you explain to Kenyans when you intend to do that, especially after you have achieved the results? Just explain to us, like you've done. We are borrowing this money, The agenda is for us to pay pending bills. This is going to be over a period of 10 years. This money, the purpose is this. And on top of that, CS, could you please present the companies that you're going to pay as the outstanding pending bills? I'm sure you can get the connection between all this. That's why I said I can't quite say this point. They are all linked on. Thirdly, the last point I wanted to mention, and that is purely because I'm in the Senate. If you look at Murang'a County, Governor Kenyatta has actually done very good work in on-source revenue collection. You remember last year, I think the year before, he was at 264 million. This year, he's at 1.5. What has shocked me is Kiambu County, of all the counties that exist in this republic, Kiambu has just collected 6.5 billion shillings in 1 year. Now, what I'm asking is this: why do we find it difficult not to either adopt what Kenyatta has done or what MATIANG'I has done in Kiambu? Because the results are there. Where you have all these county governments, they have different systems and different financial platforms of collecting revenue, and you know what they pay, 50, 60 million for a system. And yet they don't have this. Look at Nairobi County. Nairobi County is collecting what, 12 billion a year? And yet you know, Nairobi County is expected to collect 125 billion a year. So, can you in those reforms also, CS, please follow up on some of these things? Because they are all linked. If you look, and I want to say finally, that for us who sit in these committees, how I wish that sometimes when you are sitting with your teams and you're making these recommendations, call us. Because now we know where the food is being cooked. We know who steals the sugar, we know who steals the oil, we know who steals everything, the milk from the children. All those things are with us. So we are making a very special request that when these reforms are being made and when you are making certain changes, I would like to say that please involve the Senate, because we are the ones who are oversighting the reports that are coming from the Controller of Budget and the work they're doing. Finally, I want to make a very special recommendation. I don't know if in government it's allowed. If there are two people, CS, who have done our country proud, is the Controller of Budget and the Auditor General. Figure out a way how to reward those ladies. They have done a brilliant job. For me, anytime I see a governor complaining about the COP, tunaambia COP Finyaa kabisa. Because they go, they bribe officers. When she's on leave, they bring another officer to sign things for them. When they are assigned, she comes and finds those things are done. There's more that she doesn't tell you. Spend time with her. She will reveal a lot of things that you're going to see. Final point. Could you please clarify to the Kenyan public? Does the President have unaffected access to the consolidated fund without consulting Treasury and you yourself? Thank you, sir.
Yes, I think one question I have not answered from my side is the overview of the loans and the grants that we give to counties. So who audits these grants? The grants and loans that are given, the additional funds that are given to counties are not audited according to what we have seen. And I think there is no trail of money used from those accounts. So can you come up with a way of controlling that kind of use of that fund? Because this is a taxpayers' money.
And
so, before you answer, you have a question?
yeah, it's just an addendum. There's a matter that has been discussed by our committees in the Senate, and it's about the unclaimed assets. All right, the unclaimed assets in the country. All right. There was a discussion that we took, and I'm on this reform aspect. There was a discussion that took place that since devolution has basically devolved functions to the 47 counties, but one of the issues we raised was we don't have to go to 47 counties to have the Unclaimed Assets Authority set up offices. We can actually go to the regional, you remember the 8 provinces. because there are people who have died, their assets are intestate, and nobody knows what has happened to them. Some of the money that is in the accounts of unclaimed assets have never been claimed, and that is another point I wanted to say. Yes, could you please be able to tell the public how much unclaimed assets have you collected, from which area, and how much it was, and what that money has done? Whether some of it has gone to the families involved, or some of it has actually come to the states. But one of the major issues that was discussed is how do we devolve the regions from Nairobi and then take it to the old provinces, so that we are able to zero in on that money, because some of that money is actually in the account and is doing nothing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Chair, I will try to move a little fast, because there are a number of questions. In fact, Honorable Onyonka'S really saved his energy for the question. And I want to thank Honorable Onyonka'S. Honorable Onyonka'S, first, I want to assure you that the same Mbadi with whom you came to Parliament together in 2007. We were elected together. He came through, was it PDP? And I came through ODM. I hold one of the hold distinction as one of the MPs who was elected 3 times on one political party. In Kenya, it's a rare thing. But we've worked very closely with Senator Onyonka'S. He knows my stance, and it remains. When I took up this appointment, one of the things that I agreed with the President on is that I remain myself, and he has no problem with it. So I will try to do the best for the country. In terms of PFM Act, and I was one of the architects of people who really spent almost 3 weeks in Naivasha working on this law. And I would agree with you that there have been many amendments, in my view, that were not our intention then. And I think we need to, this law may need to be looked again into, and it's one of the things that I'm thinking of reviewing while I'm still in office, so that we again refocus. A lot of developments have also taken place from 2012. We may need to again look at the Public Finance Management Act afresh and see if it is meeting the challenges that are emerging, because it is the one, actually it is a super law when it comes to issues finance. When in conflict with any other law, it takes precedence. So I would agree with the Senate on that. On integrating EGP to IFMIS, that is correct. Actually, our intention is we are going to have a system that captures from budgets. The plans must be in this system, procurement, all the way from advertisement to even evaluation to award, so that you can see. You see, Chairman, today we carry those cartons of papers as we tender, and someone just looks at your bid and sees it competitive and just plucks one document out of it. You can even plug your compliance, KRA compliance. So we are even putting it in that information that is available in the government institution should not make a tenderer lose a bid. If it is about tax compliance, we have the capacity to find out from KRA that